Alright, come on in, hit the like button, think about subscribing if you're ready. You're new here, welcome to the channel, but most importantly, welcome to the Berserker family. So this is my honest opinion slash review for the 2025 shark horror film, also a B film by the way, called Beasts of War. Here's the plot. During World War II, a Japanese fighter sinks an Australian warship in the Timber Sea. Clinging to a makeshift raft, a handful of soldiers soon find themselves in a desperate fight for survival as a great white shark circles them in the water. Here's some of the cast. What a surprise this was. It was a lot more intense than I was expecting it going to be. That shark was definitely relentless and just horrifying. Combined with the score, and there's some other stuff that I don't want to spoil in there for you with sound-wise and whatnot. It was the slow-mo was very well done when they did it. It was all the time they did it. It wasn't overdone, which is good, but it was really well done. And the other times it was just like really like, well, not even really slow, but like lightly slow with certain parts to make it more dramatic. But the whole thing with the shark of how they did underwater and stuff like that was really very impressive. If you watch this film, you will see what I'm talking about with the slow-mo, different types of slow-mo, and the shooting underwater and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was such a better film than I was actually expecting. I think most of it, from what I could gather, most of it was practical sets and practical props. And that's just more from the fact that, from other than I could notice, I actually came across quickly a still from the behind the scenes of them shooting in a huge pool. And it was you could usually tell because it's their whole, it was real water. It was real water. There's definitely some CGI, or I wouldn't even call it CGI. I'd call it I guess you could call it CGI, a shark put in there. But I think most of it, what I saw, is they had like a physical prop head of the shark, which was very interesting design, by the way. And then I think they did a lot of other stuff with like other parts, like fins and stuff. It was really good. It was very interesting. The lighting though was a bit odd at first, especially with the certain kind of flashback scenes with the red. I don't want to go into more of that because I don't want to spoil much or anything really, but it's definitely a film that was very surprisingly well done. And I think, personally, I think when it comes to these project films, small budget films, I think calling them a B film is a little insulting, even though I like them and a lot of people like them just for the horror of how bad they tend to be. Where I've seen some that are good, and this is definitely up there top tier. Yeah, and there was definitely, it starts out with some cringy kind of goofiness to it, which I surprisingly in this case I actually liked. But then when shit hits the fan is when it really gets horrifying, and they just don't let go. It's really, I wouldn't say it's like constant tense on your edge of your seat, but it's definitely intense in a lot of spots, and the whole atmosphere of it is horrifying. But yeah, here's my thoughts on my rating, and I'll come back to my final thoughts. Honestly, I don't have much to say other than what I said. I do highly recommend it. It's really good for what it was, and even then some. Yeah, always leave your thoughts down below. I remember, I love you all. Please stay safe. Spread the love, most importantly. Skull.